Good evening, Jets Nation. Welcome to episode 4 of the Jets Duo Show. I'm your host, Jude Jets, joined by my co-host, Italy Jet. So how's it going?
Man, it's going well. There's a lot of things have happened. So I'm really excited to see what we talk about and what's going to happen this weekend. It's going to be interesting. How are you, Jude?
I'm doing good, man. Last week against the Patriots, it was a bummer, and we'll get to that later in the
Yeah.
stream. But I'm feeling some type of way about this Bills game. It's another sold out crowd. Maybe part of that is, a lot of Buffalo fans coming to the game, but with the way Bills injuries are looking and with the way the defense is playing, it could potentially give us a slight edge in this game. It's kind of making me a little pumped. And with that, I feel like we should just go ahead and talk about this Bills game because beginning of the season, it was one that we all had circled on our calendars. It was all one that we knew was going to be a tough game. And at, this point of the season in May, whenever the schedules got released, I don't feel like anybody thought that the New York Jets could potentially be in play for the division title. I felt like it was going to be a race between Buffalo and Buffalo. I felt like they were going to be prime control of that, but the New York Jets are sitting at an interesting opportunity right here, heading into the bye week to have a win against two division teams, the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. And Buffalo's injuries this week have just been killer, and their injury report is definitely very weird. You have some players; it's bigger than ours. First off, but the main injuries you really want to look at are the players that did not practice, because the players that don't practice most likely aren't going to play in the game. And Buffalo has three players not practicing or who haven't practiced the past 2 days. Those players being Jordan Poyer, their starting safety, who also has tied for the most interceptions in the NFL with four, Matt Milano, one of the better coverage linebackers in the NFL, and Von Miller. Now, he doesn't have an injury, but he's had a veteran rest day for the past 2 days, which is definitely interesting. Now, I haven't looked at any previous Bills injuries to see if he's had a 2 day veteran rest, but for a player of Miller's caliber, it's definitely interesting to say, does he even really need, 2 whole days of practice? Because a lot of veterans do get rest days, but Von Miller, is he a guy that just gets 2 days off and only practices on Friday? I mean, that shocked me to see that he had 2 days off for veteran rest. And if he doesn't practice on Friday, maybe we can get a little excited about it. But this game, it just gives me a lot of optimism for a very weird reason. I have a kind of a weird hunch about this game. But is just your feelings about this one? Do you feel like the Jets have some sort of chance in this one? Go ahead and lay it all out, man.
You know, I'm just gonna be really honest with you, man. Like, I mean, the Bills have a lot of injuries, right? So it's one
Right.
of those things where we need to keep an eye on what's going to happen because Von Miller, I mean, that's really big, right? That's really
Right.
big. And then their two starting safeties are going to be out too. And then, with Hines it coming in, we'll see if he's going to get going at all. Because I know they got Cook in there. I know they got Singletary and now they added Hines, who has been spectacular for the Colts. So it's one of those things where they definitely have the team, but their O line is also concerning. They've had some injuries and they haven't really been doing really well. Allen has been scrambling a lot, but he still gets the job done. No matter what his own line does, he still does good. So I mean, never say never. Miami did it once. I mean, we
Right.
could do it. So we'll see what happens if we can get it together and hopefully get some things going here. I think we might be able to do something about it. I mean, it's not. I was very negative yesterday on the show, right, with the Let's Talk Sports show with you, and today I'm like, you know what? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like maybe. So I mean, hey, I'm just gonna say we'll see. We'll see.
And an interesting thing about that Miami game is of course, they managed to take down the Buffalo Bills. Of course, they have this super dynamic passing attack with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and Tua's played lights out in that game. But one
Mhm.
big reason to why Miami won that game was because they had zero turnovers. They didn't throw any interceptions. They didn't fumble the ball. Zero turnovers, and that's something the New York Jets have done this season play turnover free football, in that 4 game win streak, or after the Steelers game, that 3 game win streak, the New York Jets didn't have any turnovers, or Zach Wilson did throw any interceptions. I don't think Brees Hall, Michael Carter fumbled the ball much. I mean, the New York Jets are playing turnover free football. And of course, this week against the Bills, that's going to be one of the main things we need to do because, of course, the defense is going to get stops. We know I have a lot of faith that this defense can stop Josh Allen. I made a bold prediction in my video that actually came out today that the New York Jets were going to hold the Buffalo Bills or hold Josh Allen to under 300 yards passing. I just have a great feeling about this defense and the way our cornerbacks
Mm,
have been playing. I have a feeling
mm,
we can hold Buffalo to possibly, I don't feel like we're going to hold them to 19 points, but they're not going to score more than 30. I don't feel like, maybe not even more than 3 touchdowns. I feel like the Jets defense is able to make Buffalo play grounded on offense this week. It's just going to depend on how Zach Wilson plays. Can Zach Wilson play the best game of his career? Because against the Patriots, it's kind of just touch and go with the way you look at his performance because he threw for a career high 355 yards. People want to say, it was all kind of garbage time. And I mean, sure, he did throw that pass to Denzel Mims down the middle of the field, but the Patriots still had their starters in. So do you really call it garbage time whenever the starters are in the game? It's kind of like an interesting way to look at it. But yeah, 355 yards, career high, also tossed 2 touchdowns, had a lot of beautiful throws in that game. It's just his decision making was very stupid. And he was also missing a lot of easy throws. And of course, to
yes.
expect him to put all of that together to just stop doing that all in one week is very unrealistic. I mean, sure, he can definitely clean stuff up, but I don't feel like he's going to clean up all of his mistakes. And against this Buffalo defense that does have the most interceptions in the NFL with 11, you got to think he's probably going to toss at least one pick. But then at the same time, the injuries Buffalo has are just super interesting to monitor because Jordan Poyer, as I said, has the most interceptions in the NFL with 4. And you also have Matt Milano, one of the better coverage linebackers in the NFL. He has 2 interceptions on the season. So if you take away Jordan Poyer and Matt Milano from that Bills defense, they now only have 5 picks. And that's just an interesting way to look at their pass defense because now it looks a lot less intimidating. Sure, we're not going to have Corey Davis in this game, but the Jets have been saying Elijah Moore is going to get a bigger role. Does he? We'll have to wait and see. But it's just super interesting because the injuries Buffalo has in this one and how good our defense has been playing could honestly really give the New York Jets some sort of chance in this game. And it's just giving me this weird optimism. I mean, I don't really know what to think because I want to say we're going to lose this game, and we probably are going to lose this game, but something in my head just telling me this is going to be a win for the New York Jets. And so the injuries, how big of a factor do you feel like they could potentially play in this game?
Well, the teams we've been facing against before, when it comes to injuries and just suspensions and penalties, it's one of those things where it's been a big factor for them, and we've capitalized on it, especially the chemistry. So it's one of those things where I think it's a huge, huge thing. So whoever is out there, if they're injured or not, I think we have a chance now because of the injuries. It's the Buffalo Bills. They always have backup plans and they're very good at what they do. But overall, it's going to be very, very interesting. Zach has to play very well. And he's got to spread the ball around. LaFleur's got to have a great game plan. And the defenses come out there and shut Allen down. They got a great defense. So I think that they can do it, but we'll see what happens.
So now that leads us into the score prediction. So, what is your prediction for this one? Do you think we come out on top? Do we pull out the upset, or do we lose and do we get blown out?
Yesterday, like I said, I was so much yesterday I was so much more negative. But I've always been a big preacher on preach. I've always preached that you never say never. Any given Sunday, it's always 0-0-0 when the clock goes down. So for me, I think for me, this is going to play a big factor now. I think they're going to win at least 30-15 now. Um, I think tonight I might change my mind and I'll let you know. But yeah, I could see it now. It went from like 35-40 to me to now 27-30, and we would have at least 15 to 20 points. I think they're going to at least win by a touchdown, a field goal, or 2 touchdowns because it's Josh Allen. Josh Allen always figures
Right.
out a way.
And I'm in the same boat with you, man. I mean, as I said, I don't feel like Buffalo puts up too much points on us. See us losing in this game 24-13. Yeah, I just feel like
Mm-hmm.
this offense, I feel like it could figure I could feel like it could just figure itself out. I still have faith in Zach Wilson, and it
Mm-hmm.
definitely has to do a lot on how Josh Allen played in his first 2 seasons. But I just still
Right.
feel like this is another just tough defense for the New York Jets, and I just really don't feel like we're going to do too much offensively in this one, and I still don't feel like James Robinson is fully submerged into this offense, and we just kind of need to give him a little more time to sink in. I feel like Kim and Michael Carter get 50-50 reps in this one, so I don't feel like this run game gets going, and I just feel like the New York Jets are able to lose in this one, sadly, 24-13. But we do get a lot of optimism in this one. But now let's go ahead and talk about the Patriots game because that was definitely just depressing. It was one I definitely thought we could win. Predicted we were going to get a 27-17 win in this game. Thought it was going to be the first time we beat the Patriots since 2015. We were wearing the black helmets. It was perfect weather. Everything was just lining up, and we got the pick six right before halftime. We were going to have a 17-3 lead, and then all of a sudden, John Franklin Myers roughs the passer, taking back the interception. Patriots put up 3 points, and after that, the team just went downhill. The New York Jets didn't score again until our final offensive drive of the game. I mean, that's just the day it was for the New York Jets. That penalty really, really killed us. And we just, I mean, it was definitely one we could win. We could have won. If Zach Wilson didn't throw those 3 interceptions, who knows how the game could have gone. But still, it was just super disappointing after that loss. And I was very mad. But it's a therapy session right now. That was a week ago. We're moving on to another week, or no, moving on to another game. But what are your just overall thoughts and your general thoughts about the loss to the Patriots? Get it all out.
I mean, it was depressing. Let's be honest, it was depressing. There's no other Jets fan that I know that that wasn't depressing. It was supposed to be Zach Wilson's breakout game. We were obviously the better team,
We were.
but we just couldn't get it going. Our offensive line just didn't have an answer. Zach Wilson was very, how do I put this? Zach Wilson just didn't have an answer too. Zach Wilson looked like crap. And
Super
and
inconsistent.
over and overall, I don't I this hurts. Like it hurts because Zach Wilson. Oh shit. I think Zach Wilson, in my opinion, just was. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties over here. I'm getting it together though. Um, I just think Zach Wilson for me, just that was his breakout game and it was very disappointing. People are calling for his name, but it's one of those things where he hasn't a full season. He hasn't had 2 full seasons yet. When
Right.
you're a quarterback in the NFL, you need at least 3 good seasons. 3 good seasons to determine if you're the franchise quarterback, in my opinion. We can name names. Josh Allen, for instance. Josh Allen, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Drew Brees. Shoot, you can name Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
What was the second year they became good? And then, the second year for Patrick Mahomes. Patrick
Right.
Mahomes sat out the first year under Alex Smith, and that's what we should have done. We should have let a veteran come in first and then progressively let Zach Wilson do it, but we didn't. And I totally understand why we didn't do it. But if you wanted to do it right, that's what we should have done. But overall, it didn't happen like that. Now we're in a very pickle. We got Elijah Moore causing issues. Evidently, he's fine now under Matt LaFleur. So it's one of those things now. When it came to the Patriots game, they were ready for us. Belichick knew every move what we were going to make. Belichick was not only ready for us, when we kept doing something 1, 2, or 3 times, not only did they capitalize on our second and third time, they made us look bad. They made us look bad on defense and offense. And when you're on those sides of the ball, They know that we were bad on third down on both sides of the ball, and they exploit that because we are. We are one of the worst teams in the NFL on third down. We're so good first and third down, fourth down. We let the punt, punt team come in, or sometimes we capitalize. But they knew that we were bad on third down. Sometimes I just want to call Wayne Corbett and unretire and because he's Mr. Third Down. So that guy right there. So let's
Yeah.
get back here for that. But overall, we got to capitalize on these things with the Bills. We got to capitalize these things in the bye week. We have got to capitalize on a Bills team that is damaged right now. They're winning, but they're damaged with injuries, and that's what's gonna fuel them more. And for us, it's gonna fuel us more too because this is a home game for the Jets, correct?
It is a home
Isn't
game, yeah.
this a home game for the
Sold
Jets?
out crowd too.
Yeah, so it's going to be very interesting if we don't get it going on the defense and offensive side of the ball with the running game, wide receivers, tight ends, linebackers, front four and D, Gardner, Reed, Joyner, Whitehead, Quincy. I can go on and on. McQuan as well. There's going to be a lot of boos.
Ooh.
So Patriots game, depressing. Fix it. Go into the Bills game and get a W before the bye week. I hope because this bye week is coming at a great time. Me and you have talked about it.
Oh,
Me and you have talked about how much the bye week is so important to teams, and I think this is a crucial bye week to get everybody back on track, get Mitchell back, get Fant back. James Robinson could get used to the system a little bit more. So I really do think that whatever happens in this game, we need to figure it out by after the bye week.
and another thing about the Patriots losses, I didn't watch any of the press conferences, but I saw a clip of Zach Wilson's, and he looked pissed. Like Zach Wilson
Oh
was
yeah,
mad. He was so mad after the press conference, and it's just and yeah, he didn't play a good game on Sunday, but nobody's talking about what we did see from him, and that's kind of been disappointing for me. And I mean, look, I've tried my best to bring into it. I made a video about Zach Wilson, why I still have faith in him. I'm not really one to just go out and tweeting a bunch of things left and right, but I was just kind of disappointed we didn't see more stuff from everyone talking about that beautiful throw Zach Wilson made on the run to Garrett Wilson. Beautiful touchdown passes he made to Tyler Conklin. And I mean, yeah, the three interceptions really, really sucked. But Zach Wilson also knows that too. And he's really mad. I mean, he's just super pissed. He even said in his press conference, someone asked him about the Patriots. He said, we'll get him in 2 weeks. I mean, this dude really wants to win. And he knows we lost this game partially because of him. I mean,
right.
of course, it wasn't all his fault. John Franklin Myers had a big reason to why we lost in this game. And Zach Wilson, he and the rest of this team just really want to go out there and prove everyone that we're not frauds. I mean, yeah, we played a bad and sloppy game against the Patriots, but we're not the frauds that everyone's going to come out and say we are. We're a team with a lot of heart, a team that wants to win, a coaching staff that wants to win, and a team that knows we want to win because we got James Robinson. Joe Douglas said, yeah, I mean, we just lost our running back to an ACL tear, but we're about to get another 1,000-yard rusher in the building. I mean, we really want to win right now. And that was a big memo to the team. And Sunday, yeah, it was a setback. Everyone's out here saying it's doom and gloom and I can't think about nothing but drafting CJ Stroud or whatever, or how we're going to get ourselves a new quarterback. And I feel like that's just the memo on Twitter. Instead, it should be this team is full of young superstars that are wanting to win, that are changing the culture, and they've shown how good they could be. Even Zach Wilson, he showed a lot of promise in that game against the Patriots, but also showed that he could be a bust. It was just a 50-50 split between everything. More 60-40 because those interceptions were terrible, but we have seen that Zach Wilson's not Sam Darnold. He was making plays that Sam Darnold wasn't making. And if we can just keep a clean pocket around him, I mean, this dude's awesome. But of course, we can't keep a clean pocket 24/7. But it's just the New York Jets were a pissed football team. We're mad that we lost to the New England Patriots, and we just want to get back out there and show the NFL that we're not frauds. And I feel like this is just a super important week to do that. But not everything's negative. Of course, we did lose, but we had two players win some pretty major awards this week, starting off with Quinnen Williams, who was the AFC Defensive Player of the Month. Quinnen Williams was huge in the month of October. This was this dude's coming out party. 4.5 sacks. Currently has 4.5 sacks in the month of October, and he has 6 sacks right now, which is the most among all interior defensive linemen. I mean, Quentin Williams has just been on a tear as of late, and it's interesting because a lot of people were counting Quentin Williams out this offseason. A lot of people were saying the New York Jets should go ahead and trade Quentin Williams while we can. Some people were disappointed we picked up his 5th-year option, and I've always been this Quentin Williams supporter. I always really thought that we showed signs of how good Quentin Williams could be. It's just he's never had the talent around him. I mean, he was always getting double teamed, or he was always just the only really good player on that defensive line. But now we have Carl Lawson, we have Bryce Huff, John Franklin Myers. Despite the penalties, has been looking really good. Sheldon Rankins also has been playing really well. Bryce Huff, the rotational edge rusher's been bringing in crazy amounts of pressures. And because of all this, Quentin Williams is able to just start balling. And he's showing the world why he was the 3rd overall pick. And, I mean, it wouldn't be crazy to say that Quentin Williams is in competition for AFC, or not even AFC, NFL Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, if Aaron Donald's won it so many times, putting up crazy stats, and I mean, Quentin Williams probably isn't going to put up a 20-sack season, but Aaron Donald's won the award with stats that Quentin Williams probably is going to finish the season with. And it also brings up a question about, the New York Jets are going to pay this dude. When do we do it? What is his contract going to look like? So what is just your overall thoughts on Quentin Williams winning AFC Defensive Player of the Month and just how he's played this season?
I mean, it's really nice, right? I mean, this is the type of player that we brought him in to be.
Right.
People give him crap because he was a first overall pick for us to go, and it's one of those things. Now can he be that guy, right? Can he be that guy? And yeah, I mean, it was always there. He just needed to unleash it. And now that he is, he's not disappointing. He could very well be one top 5 best in his position. And he should definitely get paid by like one. I would 100% give him anything he wants. This man is on his back, and I am very happy and proud that he's on our team because I'm not tied. I'm roll tide, baby. I'm an Alabama fan, so I love it. So overall, I think this is what a lot of people wanted to see and expect, but they were hesitant before. So now I'm like, okay, he's kicking butt, man. He's doing what he's doing. I mean, look at what Garrett Wilson's done. Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall before he got injured. So this doesn't surprise me at all. And I hope that he continues to be that guy because we need him to be that guy. So
And
I'm very happy for him, and I think it's only going to get better from here.
I mean, yeah, it's just only going to get better. He's going to continue being just more and more of a better player. And I saw something on Twitter today. It was about how someone said, they retweeted the New York Jets tweet, and they said Quentin Williams is really going to take up half of our salary cap space next season.
Mm-hmm.
And as fans, we've always been talking about how we don't want the New York Jets to go out and break the bank on any of those players. We always kind of been frugal as fans, not wanting the New York Jets to spend too much money on a player. But championship winning teams have highest paid players at the position. They do. And I mean, those players are getting the bag because they're good. And I mean, we're going to see Quentin Williams get the bag very soon. And some fans might start to complain about why, we shouldn't have done that because now we don't have any salary cap space. But you look at all these good teams in the NFL, they never really have a lot of salary cap space. They're always, at the bottom of the league, maybe even in debt sometimes, they're over the cap and all that stuff. But if the New York Jets are a team that's over the cap, but we're also in the playoffs every single season, I mean, I'm not complaining. I mean, as long as we have enough money to lock up guys like Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, and, hopefully Jermaine Johnson, if this dude starts to ball out, our core young good players, then I mean, hey, I'm happy. Because, yeah, we might not have a lot of money to go out and sign these big dollar free agents or we might not have the first round picks to draft the best players in the draft. But I mean, it's just gonna have to be something we come to accept. I'm fixing to make a mock off season video. It's the bye week. I do it every year, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at our cap space, and I'm like, we're gonna have $17 million next season. That's it. It's a lot less than we've had in the past. But I mean, if we can have $17 million and be a playoff team, I'm not complaining. I mean, if we have enough money to give guys like Quentin Williams the extension, that's awesome. And I was looking at the draft picks. I'm like, I mean, Matt O'Leary tweeted about it. It's November and he doesn't even know how the draft's going to look like. And I mean, I'm the same way. All I know is Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud are probably going to be the first two quarterbacks off the board. Roy Anderson's a beast. Penei Sewell has a good brother at linebacker, but that's like pretty much all I know. Like I have no idea about this draft whatsoever. And I'm gonna just go into my mock draft video with completely blind expectations because I mean I'm not gonna know who's who. So it's just refreshing to see that the New York Jets aren't, or us as Jets fans aren't in these conversations, and we're seeing players have this type of success because Sauce Gardner's winning, Garrett Wilson's winning, Brees Hall's winning Rookie of the Week pretty much every week. We're seeing Sauce Gardner, Quentin Williams winning Defensive Player of the Week, and we're probably going to see Joe Douglas win Executive of the Year. I mean, we're winning all these big time awards, and we're also going to be paying these players a lot of money. But it's going to pay out in the end because this team is just finally trending in the right direction. And I feel like that's a great transition to our next topic. Of course, Garrett Wilson being Rookie of the Week. His performance last week against the Patriots was fantastic. One of the lone bright spots in that game. So, what are your thoughts on Garrett Wilson winning Rookie of the Week?
I'm just going to be honest. I think he needs to win more. He's been getting open every single game, and we need to hit him. We need to hit him
Yeah.
as targets. He had a nice throw. Look at the Corey Davis throws a couple times. Wilson to Corey Davis. It was a nice throw. He's getting open a lot. He's one of the best rookies in the draft, top five, at least top three, especially as position. So it's one of those things where I'm happy, and he needs to keep it going because, man, he has that potential to be number one. He has that potential to be that it guy. And if Elijah Moore can be that guy as well, I mean, we're going to be very dangerous. And Corey, you can tell how much we miss Corey Davis.
No.
Like seriously, it's bad. And I hope Wilson can step up to Wilson as well, and Moore and Barrios too, and get Mims involved because now we have Mims getting involved now,
Yeah.
which I'm very happy with. So, congrats, G Dub. Really great, man. I'm really happy for him, and I hope he keeps it going.
And this rookie class, everyone was saying, I mean, they have a picture somewhere. It was just everyone saying this rookie class, A's across the board. Like every single major media outlet gave this Jets draft class an A plus, an A minus, an A rating. And first week of the season, none of our rookies really did too much. But then week 2, Garrett Wilson pops off. Week 3, we start seeing the signs of what Brees Hall could be. Week 4, Brees Hall has this amazing game, wins Rookie of the Week. Then we see Brees Hall win it again. And then we see Sauce Gardner win it. And then Sauce Gardner wins it again. And then Garrett Wilson wins it. I mean, that's 5 straight weeks where we've had a rookie win this award. We played 8 weeks this season, and our rookies have won it 6 times. That's absolutely insane. And I mean, this draft class is really turning out to be the best. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say all time, but it's really just a franchise altering draft. And, yeah, Rookie of the Week, it's a vote that fans do. Jets fans were really good about voting our players into Rookie of the Week. But you sit there and look at the ballots, and you can't help but argue that the New York Jets have just really been, or our rookies have just really been the best rookies of this week. Every time they're up for nomination, they just play fantastic. And I mean, Sauce Gardner, whenever he won it against the Broncos, he was also Defensive Player of the Week as well. I mean, we've just seen our rookies develop these huge performances for us. And I mean, Joe Douglas just absolutely hit the hammer on the nail with this draft class because it's turning out to be nothing but misses. And hopefully we could see some of our rookies getting, involved in the Rookie of the Week too. I want to say Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens are the only rookies in this draft class that have a chance to win it because we know Max Mitchell's not going to win it. So that have a chance to win the award. So, do you think Jermaine Johnson and Michael Clemens could potentially win the award this year?
I'm gonna piggyback off what you said about I'm gonna piggyback what you said about the draft class. I don't even think they're thinking about the draft class right now. I know us content creators and us fans are thinking about it,
Yeah.
but overall, we need an old lineman, safety, linebacker, another guard, center. So that's what I think. And then Jermaine Johnson and Clemens, yes. Now that Jacob Martin is traded, these guys, Shepard, Huff, Clemens, JJ, they have all the time now to do it now. Because you got to remember, yeah, we have like 17 million in cap, but the thing is, Jacob Martin was a lot of cap.
It
So
was 5
now that
million.
frees it up a little bit. I wouldn't say a lot actually, but he had some. But I think we had still have a chance to make some big trades and sign a lot of people and extend a lot of guys too. I think the cap's going to get bigger in the next couple of years as well. So we have chances to make moves and sign people as well. So I really do think that we will do that and get the job done. Now, when it comes to Clemens and JJ, this is the time for them to step up now. Along with Curry, Curry's a great leader. So I think this is their time. They absolutely deserve Rookie of the Week.
And I mean, Jermaine Johnson, he's finally going to be getting back this week, and we saw him
Right.
just start to play better and better as the weeks were going on, and he's really good when it comes to stopping the run as well, and that's going to play a huge
Right.
part into stopping Josh Allen this week. Jermaine Johnson coming off the edge, and before the stream started, we said we weren't going to talk about the Jacob Martin trade. But it just feels like it's right. We kind of brought it in, and we did get a fourth round pick for him. It's not in the next year's draft. It's in the 2024 draft. Fourth round pick could turn out to be a Hall of Famer, but it's just a fourth round pick. Probably going to get a depth player right there. But the main thing about Jacob Martin getting traded is, of course, it's going to lead to a lot more opportunities for all of our defensive linemen. And as James is saying, Huff should be playing a ton against the pass happy Bills. I mean, he should. Because I don't know the exact number or the exact stat, but you've seen all these analytical people talking about Bryce Huff, and it's nothing but good things. Every single time this dude's on the field, he's making an impact. The Jets' pass rush just looks completely better. And I mean, as you said, the offensive line is giving up or allowing Josh Allen to scramble a whole lot. I mean, you look at
Mhm.
Josh Allen, he's not exactly the fastest guy. He can run it if you want, but none of his
Yeah.
runs have been these design runs. It's all because he's having to
Reminds me
scramble
of Cam.
out of pocket.
Reminds me a lot of Cam Newton.
Right, he does. He's not the fastest guy, but he's big, he's strong, he can push forward for those yards, and he's insanely athletic. Josh Allen hurdles a dude like every other week, it feels like, and it's on every single NFL commercial. Like, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah,
But Bryce
agreed.
Huff, definitely could make an impact in this game because he's made an impact this season. Having him an active for the first 3 games of the year was absolutely insane by the New York Jets. And another thing with Jacob Martin getting traded is also it leads to probably because I mean I said Jacob Martin he had $5 million on the contract. We're most likely going to get to see Bryce Huff have a similar contract to Martin because he could really be one of those elite rotational edge rushers in the NFL. And if we can just keep him on this team, this pass rush is just going to get better and better. And I mean, this Jacob Martin trade definitely could just have a much bigger impact on the New York Jets because he was taking up those snaps of our rookies like Michael Clemens and Jermaine Johnson because we didn't really see him on the field a whole lot you know, the weeks whenever we had Martin. And then now that he's off, those snaps go to them. Bryce Huff gets on the field a lot more, and we're just probably most likely going to see this defense start to play a whole lot better. So, I'm kind of maybe excited about this Jacob Martin trade. It might not seem to be that major, but it could have major implications. And you mentioned earlier that you're an Alabama fan, and I'm an LSU fan, and we kind of got to talk
Oh,
about the matchup. We kind of have to talk about it. Number
about
six,
what?
number 10, in
No,
Death Valley. I'm going to
no,
the
we don't.
game.
No, we
I'm gonna
don't.
be yelling my heart out,
No,
and
no, we're good. We don't need to talk about Alabama and LSU.
but yeah, definitely LSU being ranked 10 was a little shocking. But that's gonna wrap up the show. Unless you got anything else to add, man.
This is the time to prove that we could be a good team against the Bills. Miami has done it before, Ravens. I mean, it's one of those things where this is the time to not only have Wilson fix some things, but this is the time to get things together before the bye week. And the bye being next week, we can do a reset. I'm looking forward to that reset because our schedule in the second half is really not that bad. The only people that I'm concerned with is the Vikings. Miami a little bit now, Patriots a little bit now, and the Bills a little bit now. But that's it. All these other teams, we should kick their butts. Okay, we should kick their butts. It's only those 4 teams that have a little bit of a concern now. So get it together. Let's get this W. And even if we don't, I just want this team to grow. I want this team to grow. We're headed on a great path. JD and Salah got this. Olbrook, LaFleur, let's just get it going. I'm very happy what I'm seeing, and let's try and get this W. James, you see that chart that showed ZW had a higher EPA from the clean pocket than Burrow. I did see that,
Me too.
and I was flabbergasted. I was shocked as heck. So it's one of those things where that I hope it could be higher this Sunday, right? We want this to be
Right.
even more higher this Sunday. So let's keep that going and let's show that we are the New York Jets and you don't come in our house and kick our butts.
I mean, I was completely flabbergasted too because Zach Wilson, the throws have kind of been touch and go this year. But you think about it, most of his throws come next to the sideline, and whenever we keep him in this clean pocket, we've seen him deliver absolute darts. So obviously, if we can keep him well protected this week against the Bills, good things are gonna happen. But that's gonna do it all for the fourth episode of the Jets Duo Show. Want to thank to everyone who's been commenting all throughout the night. James, really appreciate it, man. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for showing the support. And thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it, man. Helps us out a whole lot. And nothing that helps out a whole lot is checking us out on social medias. If you guys are interested in checking out more of our content, you can find me at Jude_Jets on all social medias. This is, of course, my channel. So if you want to see more of my videos, you can just swipe up or scroll down, whatever, and my channel link is going to be right there. And then Italy Jet, take the podium, man, and talk about everything you do.
I do 7 shows a week. And actually 8 shows. I do 8 shows a week. I have 2 with you, so it's very fun getting on here and being with you guys and being with Jude. He's all class. Let's talk sports. It's all class as well. You can follow me on everything in my J on all social media platforms. My co-host Liam as well, and me, Italy Jet, on all social media platforms. Give me a follow. I'll follow you back. But yeah, it's always fun. Let's go Jets. I'm still predicting 27-15 Bills, but let's try and get that W, man. Let's have our home rock.
And of course, you can find all of our social medias linked down below in the description. And if you're going to the game on Sunday, bring it all out. Yell at the top of your lungs. Do anything you can to help the New York Jets get this win. But yeah, I'm your host, Jets, signing off for now. I'll see you guys later. Peace.